ETH paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 142 campaigns to share with you today. Quick content warning, some of these campaigns contain pinup style models. I've left a link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. That said, let's get started. These minis will be the first official release from Dragon's Forge Miniatures when they go live in February. Here's a look at Colossal Miniatures' November Modern Survivors and Fantasy Minis. Here's a work-in-progress gnome from Zandoria Studios. These are bandits from the Scorpion Clan from Red Clay Collectibles. Patrick Miniatures is making buildings based on World War II French row houses, with several more yet to come. Valkyrie's Playground has a nice set of 2-, 3-, and 4-wheeled bikes, as well as some heavier vehicles. The Portal of Morrow is working on the Ancients from Beyond the Sea this month. The Lalalian Industrial Complex has a new Coconut Crab Heavy Mech out, and a Crochet Mech coming sometime later. Peculiar Companions has 10 and 15mm Breton Dwarfs this month. Here are 2 Alien Bounty Hunter busts from Max and Raw. Fictin Fu is working on a friendly-looking mech for next month. Labyrinth Models has Dark Elf Drakes Cavalry coming next month, and Valkyrie Archers for the Ice Queen's army. Dragon's Lake Miniatures has 3 Dwarven Steamcopters next month. Vault Z has their first pack of NPCs this month, and I hear you saying, just shoot him, but he's the little girl's father. What will your players do? By Legend Builds, here are 3 horsemen from the Empire of Jagred, and 3 Acini Barbarians. Crosslances has a few Yord girls for their first set of models this month. The first December minis from Village's Hope Miniatures is 2 Barbarians, 2 Clerics, and a Warlock. This small army from My 3D Print Forge is made up of Blood Elves, with mages, sorcerers, swordsmen, archers, terrorbirds, and more. Naga Minis has a Great Big Naga this month, along with Crow Witches, Otter Paladins, a Weasel NPC, and more. Here is 7 Swamp Trolls from Cult Miniatures. These are Wasteland Elves from Gloomy Kid Minis. From Sable Badger, here are square tile bases and Sci-fi vents for scatter terrain. Varus Miniatures has a small-scale elven host, as well as a couple demons. Here is a pic of all of Onmyoji's December release. Crucible of Games has a maglev train and allies for their 2 Pi army, and they're also starting a new one the Earth Defense Force. Here's a sneak peek at Battle Yak Miniatures' Iron Skarn Warhorde coming in January. Here's the first of the mutants that Imitation of Life Miniatures is preparing for January. Ilhadiel has abandoned his Dark Elves in favor of a new Bull Orc army. Here are multi-part troops with commanders. Warp Miniatures is working on kobolds for January. Goonmaster Games has some pretty cute bunny brigands, some with badger mounts. Here's a few work-in-progress goblins from Galad Miniatures. Aether Studios is working on some nice fantasy and sci-fi terrain this month. Dark Forest is the December set from Drunken Dwarf, with a Wendigo, druids, ants, and more. These are Agony and the Sentinels from Imperatum Art. Here are the latest minis from Trident Studios, Superman and Doc Ock. Hell Creators' December release is Commander Shepard, and it looks like January will be Aloy. Turn-Based Miniatures has work-in-progress shots of an Eastern European militiaman and a hostage. This free mini from Capsule Chibi is Holiday Miracle Haley. Here are some work-in-progress shots of the December minis from channel patron The Dork Factory. Maddox has a couple Space Wars characters, as well as multi-part Ice Planet-themed Space Wars soldiers. Here are 10 new minis from Epic's End Stuffs, mostly from their Christmas calendar. This is a work-in-progress pick of Starfire, the next model coming from Dinamu 3D. Here's some work-in-progress Battle Nun armor from Rageous Creations, with some unrelated orc skulls in the corner. Surrogate Miniatures has modular Praetorian Evocatai for December. DMG Minis is hard at work on these Egyptian-themed Marines. Here are sneak peeks of the Lesser Beastmen, Archers, and Spears, coming soon from Wake's Emporium. Here's a couple new minis with opposing themes from Tiger Skull RPG. These are Sludge Nakdrex, Gorilla Soldiers, and a Cthulhu mini from Big Mr. Tong. The Wrath of Gloomrime from Print Your Monsters includes a Hoarfrost Dragon, skeletons, golems, and more. Knucklebones has a nice collection of Napoleon Apocalypse style miniatures. From Blue Sky Minis, here's a free Brawler Squad boss and a goblin on a wolf beast. This is a work-in-progress Bugbear Berserker from Manuel Boria. Titan Troll has several new minis from their advent calendar, as well as more work on the upcoming Monty Python set, and a Dishonored bust. From Davale Games, here is the Snake King and his snake ninjas on foot. Dice Heads has teams of Panda and Axolotl adventurers to add to their Zoomtalis Battle Royale game. Here are some work-in-progress sci-fi dwarves from Kyoshineko Miniatures, as well as a great big vehicle for them. From Bright Minis, here are 3 soldiers and skeletal remains. These are Dungeon Chunza and a Dark Magician Girl from Rubim. These are Nimbus Commandos and a Morgukai Shadow Army, along with a couple Dark Jedi friends of Count Dooku. Station Forge has a set of 5 Scavenger Operators this week. Here is Gizmo, a Gremlin, Master Splinter, and Deadpool from 3DXM. From Twin Goddess Miniatures, here is a wizard pondering his orb, a Behydra, and a couple snow elves having a snowball fight. These Spanish crossbowmen, standard bearer, and camp supplies are from Caballero Miniatures for December. The Berber Cavalry and Townsfolk are a preview of January. Paladins Fall into Chaos. The Order of Greybone is the December release from Daybreak Miniatures. Here are a few bonus Christmas minis from Monstrous Encounters. Edge Miniatures has some creepy spirit leechers attacking from the Cursed Dimension. New models from Chibi STL include Samus, a Mandalorian, Wonder Woman, and Hans Gruber. Soulforge Studio has a fleet of Martian mechanic escort ships of various sorts. Darkgrounds has a nice set of sci-fi buildings and terrain in their December Neo City set. Here is a Goblin Warmaster, a Corrupted Dryad, the Arachnid Prince, and more from Rocket Pig Games. Print Minis has Smoke and Steel Volume 2, Grimdark Terrain in collaboration with Forbidden Prince. From Vevictus Miniatures, here are several minis from their advent calendar, and a peek at some female mercenaries coming in January. Last Sword Miniatures is working on Elven Cataphracts, Ordo Draconis Knights, a steam tank, and more. Yasashi Kyojin is done modeling and ready to pose this Twig Blight. This is Zeratul and a test print of The Tick, both coming in January from Prey Collection Studio. Here's a sneak peek at the Star Wars minis Sev Miniatures has in store for January. Red Pilgrim Miniatures is working on a squad of Desert Hawk veterans this month. Here's a new army from Printed Obsession, the Void Hunters, with a queen, tank, and several smaller creatures, as well as a Tabaxi Exterminator with a flamer. Great Grimoire seems to have something of a rat problem this month, and this is Marie the Merciless Princess hunting them down. Gas masks, gobos, koptas, and more. This is the green tide flowing from Gearguts' mech shop over the last 2 weeks. I don't cover too many crossovers, but Capsule Chibi have made this Tetsuban Kanzaki fan art for Cobra Mode. Here's a very early look at some ruins and roadway that Gamescape 3D is working on. Skullforge Studios has several arena fighters, a snow spider, and a squad of ash gangers for December. Asgard Rising has spruce trees for their December terrain release. New squads from Atlan Forge include Angelic Guardians with lion motifs and Minoan Athenae with spears or bolt guns. These busts of Thanatos and Darth Maul are the latest models from Fotis Mint. Channel patron Papsicels has previews up for their Spaceborne Infantry set coming soon, as well as some community remixes of older content. Here's a second batch of Barbarian Legendary Heroes from Avatars of War. Chapter 17, Dark Riders, are the December release from The Printing Goes Ever On. Here are more fanatical zealots from Highlands Miniatures, as well as members of an Inquisitor's warband. So, more fanatical zealots. One gold piece has a golem coming for Christmas. Castle of Blood is the December release from White Werewolf Tavern, with 3 ancient vampire sisters, dark knights, vampire bats, and more. Dynasty of the Wild from Mini Monster Mayhem includes 7 beasts, each with additional poses and/or ornamentally armored versions. Cyberforge is paying tribute to women in their Raw Power January release of heroines and anti-heroines. New model from the Maker's Cult this week is this Dreadnought from guest artist Lilalian Industrial Complex. Elven Grace is the first set from Epic Miniatures for the new year, with a Forest Queen, Druids, Elder Treants, Forest Homes, Moonrunners, Dark Fairies, Moon Deities, Female Centaurs, Green Draconic Dragons, Sadistic Elves, and Fey Summer Elves. Lord of the Print has the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, each with a collection of disciples or cultists to do their bidding. One Page Rules have posted full previews of their December release, including Robot Legions and a new Beastman army. MZ4250 has a bunch of new giant animals from Appendix A, some patron requests including a Phoenix Dragon, and a couple models for the Mythic Odyssey of Theros campaign. And finally, here's a teaser of the Ursa Empire that Titan Forge has in store for January. First up, these 2 Savage Ogres are the debut monthly release from Faux Figures. K-Scale Models is working on a new Buster rifle for your Gunpla models. Iconic Minis has an eye tyrant, as well as a full 2-story house with some furniture to go inside it. Here's a great worm from Miniatures by Ace for November. Here are 2 of 3 Christmas minis from Guardian's Destiny for December. Downtown 3D Printing is working on self-propelled howitzers and mortars, as well as some rocket launcher beastmen. The December release from Two Moronic Miniatures is titled Demonology. Here are 2 new characters from the Nalon Realm for December. From Dungeon Dog Miniatures, here is a 5-headed Hydra, a zombie Hydra, and a hanging cage. Here are a couple work-in-progress pieces for December from The Owl. Here's a work-in-progress shot of the first demon for December from Standart Painting. Stormcrow has 3 new Magic the Gathering inspired beasts this week. Cybermyths has 7 little sci-fi diorama spaces to display your favorite minis in. From the Surreal Factory, we have the terrifying Scratcher Biter and the Crabinator, a crab turned into a supervillain due to a bite from a radioactive human. Here are work-in-progress shots of a Shaper and an Atlatl Warrior from 3D Print Cleric. Lana and Spike here are free downloads from Uncanny Minis. Here is the first Golem from Blue Wyvern's December set of Ice Elementals. This large defense laser and 2 UAVs are the December release from Project Mobius. Here are 7 new Satyr minis from Lost World Miniatures. This Murmillo Brute with a halberd and shield is the 2nd December release from Vinci Minis. These cutesy alien minis that Zombie Smith is always making are actually part of a family-friendly RPG called War of Ashes. From Niverdale Tabletop, here are 2 Admirals, Scuba Clones, and Wampas. Here are 2 Heretics, and 2 Holy Warriors that hunt them, from Polygrim. Here's a Riot Squad and a couple new characters from Bob Naismith. New models from Your Neighbor Knight Minis include an Assassin, a Knight, a Driver, a Hat Seller, and a Thief. From Admiral Apocalypse Miniatures, here are 6 new Necropolis bases. Here are 2 dragons from Hollow Miniatures for December. These are the December downloads from Gangfight Games, as well as one that will be coming in January. Here's a little Goblin Warrior from Maps and Monsters. Savant 3D is working on underground corridors and temple terrain. Arcanum Workshop has some little demons coming in January. Here is most of, but possibly not quite all, of the December release from Ratman Forge. This is the Hexen Avatar of the Dreamwalker from Starpharaoh Foundry. Random Miniatures has some Christmassy themed minis this month. Celia Miniatures has a ninja and a little old lady with magic powers. Here's a teaser of a Garmir Mark III mech from DeJong Lewis Advanced Weapons. Here is a Demon Lord and a Demon Hunter from Sculpt Tuner. These Bestigors with scenic bases are from Empire Miniatures. From 154, here is Marcus, a Krampus, and the Ponderer. Mecha Miniatures has 4 little Christmas gobos, bearing gifts for all the good little grots. Here are some friendly looking security bots from channel patron Lost Heresy, as well as a happy Krampus to bring cheer to your holidays. This Kitsune is a preview of Claudio Cassini's January release. That's all for now. Huge thanks to my patrons on Patreon. Your support really means a lot to me. Check back Tuesday for another Kickstarter countdown. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.